Well, I'm on a loop. How much progress will I make this time? Do whatever I want. Go to Promstein's room. What is it? Is something the matter that requires you to come to my room? Well, about that, you're probably going to find this amusing, but... Because Promstein for assistance. What? A time loop? So you are telling me that you've been repeatedly experiencing the same time? Ha ha ha, real funny, right? So whenever the 5 o'clock bell rings, a nearby woman goes crazy. And after being assaulted, you get sent back in time. We've ruled out physical and psychological abnormalities, nightmares, curses, illusions, and the soul network. Did you get all that? Ah, yes, I understand. You're eliminating possibilities by order of how easy they are to verify. Then that would leave 168 possibilities remain. The next possibility I can think of is an attack from an evil god. An evil god, you say? Are you implying the dark god Alphys from her parallel world? Yes, the dark goddess has devised a new space-time technique, and it's possible she could be directing that against you, Luca. If we assume this is the dark god's technique, then dark elements would serve as a medium. If we measure their activity, we should be able to find out if this is indeed the case. To be honest, I consider this possibility unlikely. I just want to be absolutely certain before I measure this space-time abnormality in earnest. Alright, I understand. In the meantime, I'll gather information. As expected, become familiar with this. Now then, please leave the rest to me. Alright, return at 4 o'clock. Alright, we got 2 more times upstairs. Attempt a riddle. 3. Third. It does not. Alright. Gotta have you move Giga. We got Musette's lackeys here. Alright, the almighty swordsman is looking at us again. I exposed my chest just a little and his face turned red. It's so fun to tease him. But it's not a problem for me if he insists on doing this. The almighty swordsman's holding back anyways because he's a softie. If we can take advantage of that and win against him... Oh, she doesn't have her own one. Alright. Ask about the pizza order. I didn't order that. Ask about the tools that can time loop. That's something Musette doesn't even know about. How could I possibly know? Any regrets? What if I were standing in Lila's position? I feel it'd be more fitting if we did this the other way around, but I don't think we can change things now. Nothing useful. Consult regarding the phenomenon. How mysterious. The Musette repeating the same day sounds really cool too. Nothing useful. Alright. You never learn, almighty swordsman. Are you really not interested in our bodies? He said he was looking at the weapons on our arms because they're unusual, but that's obviously just an excuse. Actually, I really can't stand the idea of some creep guy ogling me. Ask about the pizza order. Eh? Someone didn't order one for me? Ask about the tools that can loop time. That sounds mysterious. It could be fun to use on the almighty swordsman. Ask about regrets. I guess I regret messing with the almighty swordsman a little bit. He's really insistent on keeping a watch over me. Consult regarding the phenomena. Who knows? If we really were doing that, then wouldn't the almighty swordsman over there be the first one we'd make suffer before anyone else? Looks like that. Alright, so we actually didn't have to come up here during this loop. Fine. Oh well, well, we didn't even... well, we wasted the time talking to Sphinx, but that's it. Alright, we'll save Giga for this time, since it'll be the last time she's flipped over. Well, for now. Let's see. How about we take a class with Mephisto here? More learning, more encouragement. Thinking on now, I never have learned such theories. I must take this opportunity to acquire the knowledge necessary to become an administrator. The world-famous Mephisto is personally giving lectures. I cannot afford to miss this opportunity. Mephisto is a high-ranking Yoma who once served as the Monster Lord's chief advisor. There are many who seek to hear her lectures, even at great cost. I'm taking these lectures as a stand-in for Queen Vampire. I just need to take notes so I can explain the contents to her later. Queen Scylla hasn't arrived yet. She unfortunately fell into a pitfall that someone had dug. I need to make a difference while I still can. Yeah, you dug the pitfall, I'm sure. I'm currently giving advanced lectures oriented toward politicians. Would you like to hear them as well? Alright, we asked you about pizza, tools I can loop. Any regrets? I have no regrets at all. My life is filled with humor and intrigue. Let's see, we also consulted regarding the phenomenon. Attend her lecture. Events this time. The phrase, war is an extension of politics, is quite famous, but in terms of interpretation, it is very difficult to present. Is war subservient to politics and its management, or does war take precedent over politics? The reason this sort of confusion comes about is the fact that the term politics is ill-defined to begin with. Huh, this is some really high-level stuff. Spend some time listening to Mephisto's lecture. Current time, 3 p.m. Well, actually, we'll need to be doing this a lot later on, so why bother right now? Let's see, Daimyokai. You have an ending. I don't think Paige has an ending, so let's spend some time with her. Or is there someone else up here? Which? Nope. Alright. My, if it isn't Luca. If you are bored waiting for the festival, why not practice being a librarian? We asked her about tools that can loop time. Any regrets? Regrets? That? It's not something you should ask a woman about. She's putting up a front for some reason, but I doubt she's connected to the phenomenon. I didn't get any helpful information. Consult regarding the phenomenon. This phenomenon is not mentioned in any book, is it? You may better consult a researcher who specializes in that. Alright. Practice being a librarian. I don't see you very often in the library. What sort of books do you read? Adventure stories, romance novels, academic works, erotica. It has to be adventure stories with Luca. Indeed, that would be just like you. Now allow me to introduce you to a masterpiece series of exciting adventurers. Spend some time practicing to be a librarian. 4 p.m. Alright. Go back up for a second. Oh, she does have an ending. Darn it, I wasted some time. Oh well. Oh well, we can do extra loops if necessary. It's not a big deal. Luca's not going to get bored if it's a new one every time. Anyway, to promise time. Ah, it's you, Luca. I just finished my measurement of dark elements. Unfortunately, I did not detect any unusual activity. With this, we can rule out the possibility of an evil god stewing. Well, the likelihood was slim to begin with, but the fact we completely ruled out that possibility means we should be one step closer to identifying the cause. Science is sometimes a process of elimination. I memorized all this from before. You're beginning to understand. I mean, if you really are that since you really do remember everything, and you can become a super genius if you put your mind to it, I mean, if worse comes to worse, you could just brute force your way by becoming a genius yourself to solve the time loop. Not that we have to wait that long. You're beginning to understand. Of course, this is no time to be laughing. From here on out, this is where verification is going to become much more difficult. Well, I suppose those details can be explained by next me. Luca, please forward the results from this loop over to the next one. We've ruled out physical and psychological abnormalities, nightmares, curses, illusions, the Salt Network, evil gods. Is this list going to keep getting longer and longer? Allow me a moment to abbreviate this. ST, DF, CF, MF, SF, AF. How about that? Really? You'd understand that? I'm quite smart, so I'm sure the next me will be able to figure it out. I understand. I'll give your regards to the next promise time. Alright then. Give my regards to... you said before I could. Alright. To Giga. To face another terrible fate. Huh? She's gone! Okay then. How did I never notice that she's gone on the before clock if she's flipped over? Oh, whatever. Well, alright, wasted the time talking to you, might as well talk to you again. My, if it isn't Luca. If you're bored waiting for a festival, why not practice being a librarian? Practice being a librarian. Aside from adventure stories, how about erotica? Bookshelf H-12, rows 4 through 7. There it is. I spent some time practicing being a librarian. 5 o'clock. Come to think of it, I purchased a rare book I really want to show you. Huh? What kind of book is that? As I show interest, her tentacles slither their way to my body and coil around me. My body is restrained in a flash. It's a treasured book that is said to be the ultimate erotic book. Well, fitting considering what we just talked about. It is said that no man can stop himself once they start jerking off to it. Cornelia opens the book in front of me. We don't get to see what it is. Is it Shrek? I've made that joke before. Come on now. As soon as I see the content, my hand reaches for my crotch. Amazing! The effects seem to be immediate. I can't really figure it out, but what is so good about it? Despite Cornelia's cold stare, I desperately keep doing it. Yep. Jacking off to porno ending.